Through the Third Eye. Book 1 of the Third Eye Trilogy. Chapter 9. The Castle Keeper, Kidwelly, Wales. Shali and Clay landed in Cardiff Airport after a transfer from Heathrow Airport in London. They rented a car, drove an hour to Kidwelly, and checked into a bed and breakfast-style inn with an adjoining room for the regression. Tommy lived in the village of Kidwelly and had made reservations for them. They agreed to meet at the inn's restaurant for a traditional Welsh breakfast the next morning. They got to the inn's restaurant before Tommy arrived. As they walked into the dining room, both smiled at the high ceilings with heavy wood cornices and finely trimmed doorways. Colorful rounded fieldstones rose on one wall, accenting the large stone fireplace, while a wood fire crackled away, warming the room. The slight smoky wood aroma mingled with the kitchen smells of cooked breads, bacon, and coffee. As Shali sat down at a table near the window overlooking a brilliant green pasture with cows and sheep, Clay fetched 2 cups of dark black English coffee. As he approached the table, Shali looked up and nodded a thank you.
"Oh, by the way, did you sweep this place for bugs?"
Clay answered in a matter-of-fact tone.
I swept the regression suite. Nothing. But I didn't sweep my room. I want them to hear my sex romps with the maid.
Shali glared at Clay until she realized the prank. She instantly recovered and asked,
"Oh, the hairy one that looks like a rugby player?"
Clay smiled, knowing he hid a touch of jealousy. Just then, a large, plump-bellied man with thin, disheveled hair and rosy red cheeks walked into the restaurant. He eyed them and waved his hand, acknowledging their anticipated meeting. Tommy waltzed across the room, offered his hand to Clay, and said,
"So, are you my American mutts?"
Before Clay could answer, Tommy looked at Shali and reared his head back in surprise.
"Well, from the looks of you, ya sure as hell aren't a Yank. What's your name?"
"Shali. Shali Faisal."
She blushed slightly at the blunt, straightforward nature of his introduction.
"Be damned. You're some kind of Arab. You're not Al-Qaeda, are you?"
With a smile, she replied.
"No. My family is from northern India. But I was raised in California."
Hell. Got that one wrong. But I don't lift a petticoat after pissing.
"What?"
I don't cry over spilled milk. Are you some kind of veggie-eating Indian? 'Cause if you are, you're gonna get hungry here.
Shali smiled and looked at Clay, who was enjoying Tommy's jabbing at his colleague.
"No, I eat meat. No problem there."
Tommy plopped down in a chair at the table.
Well, that's good, 'cause I told the innkeeper I want a really good authentic Welsh breakfast. So we're having a big plate of laver, cooked in bacon fat. The seaweed is good this time of year, so that'll be delicious. Then she's got a big steam pot cooking for cockles. We're dipping those clammers in butter and lemon juice. After that there will be plenty of eggs and bacon, so yeah, get ready for a real good breakfast. None of this continental European crap.
Tommy leaned back in his chair, took a deep breath, then stretched out his arms and patted his large belly while smacking his lips.
I'm looking forward to this breakfast. Good thing we don't start until tomorrow.
Shali injected, looking at Tommy.
"But when we finish breakfast, we would like to have a little trial run with the hypnosis just to see how you do. Think you can handle it, big guy?"
I'm ready when you are, my sweetie.
He looked up as the innkeeper brought out a large plate of deep green, pungent-smelling seaweed puree and a pot of steamed cockles.
Ah, and ya think those little Orientals are the only ones who know how to eat seaweed? No, Mom, they've never been to Wales.
The 3 of them had a long breakfast to get acquainted while joking about classic Welsh dishes. 2 hours later, they waddled up to their regression room and spent an hour running Tommy through a set of general hypnosis practice scripts. There were no issues with Tommy's ability to be hypnotized. They agreed to meet early the next morning, after a light breakfast. The rest of that first day, Tommy gave them a first-hand tour of the Kidwelly Castle, including highly animated descriptions of the filming of the Monty Python Holy Grail movie. Regression Day 1. The setup and start of the first day's regression was uneventful. Clay performed the regression while Shali manned the console and recording equipment. Tommy went into a deep trance through the Hall of Doors and described many ancient insignificant lives up to the 1600s BC. There they found the life of Ismail, son of Abraham, and brother Isaac, the soul of Iqbal in Amman, Jordan. Tommy's personality burst through in describing his lives in the regression.
Yeah, my brother Yitzhak, he was a limey prick if there ever was one. Always pushing me around, the lame ass. And Dad? Oh shit, the older he got the more his brain went to mush. He couldn't keep his dish level. Always hollering, and even threatened to kill us a basket of times.
Tommy rattled on about his life as Ismail, displaying his strong Welsh slang. Clay smiled, looked across to Shali, and commented as Tommy drawled on about this former life.
Tommy is definitely in Iqbal's soul pod. They were both Abraham's sons. Listen how he corroborates Iqbal's descriptions of Abraham.
She nodded and gave Clay a thumbs up. Clay let Tommy play out the life of Ismail, and then moved to the next life in 1400s BC. Surprisingly, he described in graphic detail his life as Miriam, the sister of Moses and Aaron. He described how passionately respectful she was of her brothers. But Clay and Shali were surprised when he described his previous life's view toward the wife of Moses.
Sephora. What a bitch she was. My poor brother Moses was so gullible and manipulated by her. She was a good mother to his kids, but I just hated her. I wish he would have left her back in Egypt. Aaron saw through her too. There was no Welsh between us, I tell you.
What do you mean, no Welsh between us?
We didn't speak. I didn't trust her. I just couldn't stand her.
Clay proceeded with his questioning through the life of Miriam with no significant events. Clay then moved Tommy through half a dozen inconsequential lives over the next 1,000 years. In his strong Welsh accent, Tommy then revealed a most interesting life between 367 to 283 BC. As Tommy described this life in graphic detail, Shali pulled Clay aside.
I'm telling you, we've got a hot one here.
Shali pointed at her laptop.
This is the life of Ptolemy Soter. He was one of Alexander the Great's most trusted generals and later became the ruler of Egypt.
She grabbed his forearm and leaned toward him.
Clay, this Ptolemy was known as the founder of the Alexandrian Library. We've got our key player here.
Clay's smile grew into a huge grin.
Good stuff. But I think we need the last librarian, not the founder. So the soul living in a person down in Panama must be the last librarian. Keep digging and see what you can find about Ptolemy while Tommy's rolling here. His comedic narration is totally cracking me up.
Why hell, I had more whores than I could handle. Yeah, and then I had to marry this one little bitch, Artikama. Her daddy was some Persian general. Alexander was trying to keep peace in Persia, so he made me marry her, the twerp. What a spoiled brat she was. But I had me one really hot lady on the side. Yeah, Thais. She was one fine Greek lass that could suck the paint off a car. I brought her along on our campaigns. We had one hellish big party in the palace in Persepolis one night. We burned the goddamn castle down. I'll bet they saw the flames in Shiraz that night. What a piss.
Clay and Shali were laughing so hard they had tears in their eyes.
Alexander would have had a big shit about that bonfire, but be damned if he didn't start the fire himself. Thais, she was one hot, manipulative woman. She could make a man skin his own mother. Hell, so she pushed Alex into burning down his own new castle. She dared him, told him he didn't have the balls to burn it down. Alex could never pass up a good dare. We had some good times, we did. There were great battles in Afghanistan, India, Syria, Cyprus. Oh hell, the day we took Jerusalem, wow, what a fight. We fought hard and we played hard. Ah, now those were the days.
Clay and Shali both laughed out loud.
Why, we kicked big ass like there was no tomorrow. We pillaged every place we went. Now, I always liked books, so I brought back thousands and thousands of books and scrolls to Alexandria.
Clay sat up in his chair and glanced at Shali. He turned a serious face as Tommy expounded.
I had trains of wagons taking all kinds of writings back with us. I liked the stories and philosophies of life in those books, but I couldn't read the damn things. All these weird languages. So I brought me back some translators to help me. And I might add, a few of them slaves were hot little ladies. They would sit and read to me from those scrolls and books, and then I'd have a hot sex romper with him.
Tommy himself laughed out loud and paused.
But some of those writings were just confusing trash, couldn't make heads nor tails of it. It was a lot of strange numbers and drawings and weird stuff. Nevertheless, my campaigns with Alexander led me to build a great library with all of them books. At least that was one good thing I did in that life.
Clay looked at his colleague and shook his head.
You're right. We found the first librarian of the Alexandrian Library. Maybe we'll get more details in later lives or in the LBL.
After breaking for a light lunch, the three started into the afternoon regression. Tommy described an insignificant life of a Chinese woman in the 100s BC that was followed by a prominent life between 20 BC and 50 AD.
Good family, you know. Aristocrats we were. Everybody knew us in Alexandria. We were Jews and damn well connected back to Rome. You had to be connected to Rome, or you're at the fords of the river. Dead like a sheep. Philo-Judos they called me. Oh, and I was a good writer. Wrote a lot of books, and they put a lot of them books in the big library up by the coast. I loved the works of Plato, Aristotle, Pythagoras. I wrote about my philosophies, but my philosophies came from these other guys.
Tommy continued his colorful narrative, while Shali pulled Clay aside.
I looked up this Philo guy. He had a lot of writings. We got another prominent life, but I don't think he was so relevant to the secrets.
Where do you think I should take him?
While he is this Philo-Judos, ask about 𝐂𝐇𝐈𝐒. They lived in the same time. I'll bet they ran the same circles. Then see if he knows about JC.
Clay turned back to Tommy, who was rattling away about his life as Philo-Judaeus. At a slight pause, Clay injected.
Did you know a man named Hillel or Alel? A old Jewish man in Jerusalem?
Oh hell yes. Who didn't know him? He was a sharp nail for sure. He was in Jerusalem, but I met him once in Alexandria when I was a young man. He came to see the library. After that, he sent over rabbis to the library. I would meet with those rabbis and talk about the problems we had in Alexandria with the Romans and Greeks. Assholes they were. They busted our asses all the time.
Did you know of a man named Jesus Christ or Jesus of Nazareth, perhaps in Jerusalem? He was a Jewish man.
Yeah. Stupid prick. Got himself nailed up for shooting off his mouth too much. I took a different tack. I wrote about our problems. I wrote to the emperor in Rome several times. I even went to see him, but that Caligula didn't want to hear anything about our problems. The senators were no better. They were pricks too.
Clay guided Tommy through the rest of Philo's life, and then quickly through another insignificant life in the wilderness of Siberia. Clay started into the next life lasting from 207 to 270 AD. Within minutes, Shali nearly jumped out of her chair. With a huge smile, she waved at Clay to get his attention and pointed at Tommy.
We've got Plotinus. Yes, Plotinus.
He smugly smiled in return.
I figured this might be him. We're going to spend some time to dig in here.
Clay intensely questioned Tommy's soul as Plotinus for more than 30 minutes, probing for any leads to the secrets. They got absolutely nothing, and looked at each other with disappointment. Shali whispered to Clay.
Ask him about Ammonius.
Clay turned to Tommy.
In this life, do you know a man named 𝐂𝐿𝐿?
Why, hell yes. Ammonius was a good teacher, a damn good teacher. He was sharp, plus he was a good guy, a real nice man with a good heart, good thoughts. But the poor sap couldn't write for shit. Me and his other students did all his writing, and he let us take credit, the dipshit. We should have signed his name for him and not taken credit. That wasn't right. Anyway, he was as queer as a football bat. The guy never married and never wanted to be with women. He liked his fellas, as I recall. What do ya expect? He was a Greek. He tried to get me one time, but I got pissed at him. I told him I'm not into that kind of stuff. No sir, nope, not me, I like my women. Let me tell you about this time when I was teaching in Rome. You see, I had women students under my study. One wonderful, beautiful lady named Gemina.
Clay and Shali looked at each other, smiled, then laughed in anticipation.
Oh yeah, she was a charmer and a good looker. I lived in her house for a while in a back room. Her husband was always off on some Roman Empire kind of bullshit, killing people in some faraway land and taking all their money. Well, let me tell you that I had my way with this Gemina, his wife. And with her fine-looking teenage daughter too. And then there was this other Roman's legionnaire officer's wife.
Clay and Shali laughed so hard at Tommy's descriptions, tears now streamed down their faces. After finishing the review of Plotinus, they brought Tommy out of the regression through the decompression scripts. After a tiring day of regressions, they all went to a nice dinner in nearby Carmarthen for a fashionable meal of monkfish and lamb. Regression Day 2. The second day of regression started well, as Tommy leapt into a life from 271 to 312 AD.
My name was Cletus Aurelius. Pretty nice Roman Greek name, huh? I wanted to be a Roman legionnaire when I was a boy, but I think I was Greek. No, I can't tell whether I was a Roman or a Greek. Must have been a mutt.
With little prompting, Tommy went into 30 minutes of precise detail on this particular life. As he delved into the minutiae of that life, Clay motioned Shali to the side.
What is Tommy's hang-up on this Cletus guy? Did you find anything on him on the net?
Not a trace. I tried all kinds of combinations on the name, but I found nothing that matched the time or places he is describing.
He's infatuated with this life for some reason, so let's let him run with it a while longer.
Clay turned his attention back to Tommy.
God, my wife was a nagging bitch. Hell, I joined the legions to get away from her. She can keep her pompous-assed family. The legions sent me to control the Numidians and the Berbers down in North Africa. Those damn barbarians gave us a lot of trouble. But there's a lot of resources down there, loads of grain to send back to the empire and to feed the army. I controlled a small outpost of Roman soldiers. We were responsible for about 10 villages. The boys got a wee bit rowdy at times with the locals, you know, raped a few girls. Well, raped a lot of girls and took some extra taxes from the merchants. I should have stopped them, I know it. But what the hell, you can't do everything right. But I was behaved, I just did not control my soldiers. I was sweet on this one girl in the village where we lived. Her father was one of the elders, and I think he liked me. He used to complain about my soldiers. But I didn't listen to him.
Tommy paused for a moment, then let out a big sigh.
Anyway, my soldiers and me went for a walk one day to the next village, about 8 of us. The rolling hills and golden fields of grain were beautiful. Tommy breathed in deeply through his nose. Ah, the smell of summer jade and clover was in the air that day. The sky was brilliant blue with lots of white puffy clouds. As we crossed through this small dip in the field, they came running over the hill. 40 or 50 of them came running from behind us, flailing their short swords and spears. We didn't stand a chance. They cut us down like sheep. Oh, my back. My back. My back.
Tommy's body jerked violently in the chair. He curled to the right side, almost falling over the arm of the chair. Clay commanded,
Tommy, come out of the body. Do not view this scene from inside the body. Only look at this from above the body. You will not feel any pain. Remove yourself.
Or.
Tommy jerked back to the left side of his chair.
He sliced me down the back, that pipsqueak.
His head rolled back to the right side.
I'd kick your ass if I could get up.
Tommy, listen to me. Remove yourself from the body of Cletus.
Whoa. Not that yar bastard.
He jerked forward, nearly sitting up in his chair. With the goggles, earphone, and shock wires in tow, his head turned down as if looking at his stomach.
He gutted me. The bastard gutted me.
The palm of his left hand slid up the side of his stomach, mimicking, pushing the intestines back in. He suddenly flopped back in his chair and tilted his head back as if looking at the horizon above his head.
Tommy, you will not.
But Clay was cut off.
It's him. Her father and the elders from the other villages. On the hill by the tree line. They're watching. They ordered this, and are watching this slaughter being carried out. You bastards.
Tommy suddenly jerked to a complete sitting posture, grabbed his right side, and yelled in pain. He began to shake his head and arms to the sides as Clay and Shali stared in near shock. Tommy then reached up and yanked off his goggles and headphones. Tommy looked around the room in a frantic daze, shaking his head side to side in disbelief. Tommy had come completely out of his hypnotic trance and was sitting wide awake in the chair, eyes flicking side to side as if replaying the trauma he just experienced. Shali gave him a glass of water and rubbed his shoulders to help relax him. He sat there motionless. After a comforting pat on Tommy's shoulder, she motioned Clay to step aside with her.
What the hell just happened, Clay?
Clay whispered his response.
I don't know. I've never seen this. He wouldn't let go of that life. You didn't find anything about this guy on the net?
Not a thing. He focused on this Cletus more than any of the prominent people in his past. What do we do now?
After he calms down a bit, we take him back down. We'll finish his regression and bring him back out through the Protocol 75 decompression. Hopefully, he won't remember. Just make sure we don't mention that life later, or he might recall the experience. Tomorrow we'll go for the Akashic records.
She nodded. They re-hypnotized Tommy and continued the regression. In the 400s AD, Tommy's soul revealed the life of Proclus, a famous Greek Neoplatonist philosopher known for his influence of both Western and Islamic views of that time. A pleasant surprise came in the next life, as Tommy described his life as Dalpopa the Buddha from 1292 to 1361 AD.
Will you look at the plump little boy? He's got a potbelly like me.
Tommy laughed aloud.
I was raised in Nepal, but I ran off at 17, got to be a good Buddhist, so I went to Tibet. The temples and teachers were very good there. I became good at Kalachakra, the wheel of time. There is no start, there is no end.
Tommy droned on about his life as Dalpopa.
Clay, I found Dalpopa. He's a hotshot Buddhist in Tibet. He actually became a full Buddha. Good stuff here, but I don't know if he's going to help find the secrets.
I'll let him play this out and then move him on. He's had a lot of prominent lives, just like his soul podmate, 𝐂𝐇𝐈𝐒.
They continued through another 5 lives, up to his present life as Tommy. None of them were significant or added to their search for the secrets. Clay was particularly assertive with the protocol decompression scripts to ensure Tommy did not remember any of the regression. That night, Clay and Shali met without Tommy in a pub up the street from the inn.
Except for our little clash with Cletus, so far so good, huh, Chief? And we haven't even gotten to the LBL yet.
Yeah. A lot of his lives were historically famous, just as was the case with 𝐂𝐇𝐈𝐒. Correlating Tommy's former lives to the lives of Iqbal's soul, there is definitely a connection between the two. I wouldn't class them to the level of soulmates, but they are certainly in the same soul pod.
Shali smiled.
Tommy's camaraderie has made this regression a pleasure.
Clay chuckled.
Yes, his crude commentary under hypnosis sure cuts the boredom. And when he's not under, he's calling you the West Asian mutt.
Shali smiled.
At least I'm not the mutt from the rebel colonies, as he calls you.
End of chapter 9.